And so if it's okay with dear Beth, let's give the candidates about 3 minutes for this particular question, so that we can combine them into one. And we'll start with Mr. Hale. Is that what we are? We started with Mr. Hale on this one. And Ms. McCall, you kind of started to talk a little bit about communications and messaging. So this question is, do you have a plan to revamp the party's messaging and communication strategy to present a clear, unified vision for what Tennessee Democrats stand for? And the part B of that question is, what can we do to increase our presence on social media and continue to engage young voters in new and informative ways?
So part 1, unified message. Part 2 was social media
and new outreach.
Okay.
Innovative outreach.
Start my call. Yes, I do have a unified message. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have a plan. So it's written down. There's 6 pages. I do hope you look at it. But on the messaging component, I really want to hone in on this. I think rural Tennessee has been left behind by the Democratic Party. I think rural Tennessee has been left behind by the Democratic Party. I think rural Democrats have been put last when they need to be put first. I ran as 15 of the most rural and red counties, not just in the state, but in this country. One of my best friends on the campaign trail today is a guy named Brewster Woodbridge from Bledsoe County. He's on the county commission down there. He hasn't heard from the state and its leaders in a long time. He said the last time he remembers hearing from the state was when Al Gore was in Senate. We can win elections down there because in rural Tennessee, name matters more than party. Grundy County, 81% voted for Donald Trump. 6 of 9 commissioners, Democrats. Michael Brady, mayor, Democrat. In rural Tennessee, if we focus on rural Tennessee, we can win elections again. It's crass politics. Okay, so what about our message? Stronger together is not working. High ideals and messaging is not working. We need bread and butter basics. The Republicans, though they lie when they get in the legislature, they win elections on a simple message. Less government, lower taxes. I want our message to be simple as well. We need to stop doing pie in the sky and focus on people and their families. Here's my worldview. Here's my worldview. You want to start winning elections in Tennessee again? Then Democrats can never forget the lesson we've always known. Never underestimate what it means for people to be able to provide for themselves and their families, and how deeply it destroys them when they cannot. That is true in Memphis, it is true in Spencer, it is true in Pikeville, and in Mountain City. It is true across the state, and we've taken our eye off the ball. I want to get back to basics. I love Carl Dean. When he ran on Medicaid expansion, he ran this horrible ad about fiscal responsibility. He burned up dollar bills in the air. You know what? I've knocked on thousands of doors in Tennessee in my life. No one's ever talked to me about government fiscal responsibility. They've talked to me about their own pocketbooks, their own realities. We need to take a moral vision. We'll end with social media. Look at my social media. Look at my campaign social media. 1 in 4 voters in my community saw my content on social media. The only way that anyone voted for me, because I hadn't been running long enough, was we got our message out there through new avenues. And we can do that again.
So the first question that I got when I got this job was, how are you going to message differently to rural communities, and how are you going to message differently to non-rural, more urban or suburban communities? And my answer was, I'm not. And here's why my answer was, I'm not. It is not so let me just also take another step back. There's also a difference between messaging that comes out of the party and messaging that comes from candidates. So what do I mean by I'm not? Okay, the Democratic, to bring all Democrats together, we have to agree on values, what our values are. And our values are that everyone in the state, no matter who you are, what you look like, or where you live, should have the opportunity for a better life. You should have the opportunity for health care in a hospital that's close by. have the opportunity for education and education that fits your vision for a better future. You should have the opportunity to have a job in your community, right, where you can have one job, be able to spend time with your kids after work, have a house, a mortgage, a car that works, not have to choose between paying for medicine or paying for a new roof or a transmission or, you know, all the things that people struggle with now. So, because here's the thing. The policy is going to look different. The values are the same. So in rural Tennessee, the policy for more jobs is rural broadband, to bring in the 21st century economy to rural Tennessee. In Nashville or in Chattanooga, it's how can we get a manufacturing company to come here? How can we get Amazon to come here? How can we get Volkswagen to come here? Right? The manufacturing base is not, or manufacturing is not going to come back to rural areas, so we have to figure out a different way. So it's the policy that's different. Healthcare policy is the same thing. There are some Democrats that actually think about not Medicaid for all, but universal, and there are some that think that Obamacare works and we should fix it, right? So that we have to agree, though, that everyone should have access to affordable health care. That's the value that every Democrat stands up for in every community. It does not matter where you live, what you look like, or who you are. What we suggest our candidates do is that they pick 3 issues that are important in their community. If you've had a rural hospital close in your community, it's healthcare, right? If you have no jobs, it's rural broadband. If you have a bridge that a school bus can't cross over because it's crumbling and no one will spend the money to fix it, that's your 3rd issue, right? So it's a value statement at the top that we scream from the rafters and that every Democrat believes in and can get behind, and it's issue-based for our candidates based on their where they are.
So the first part of the question was, what is your plan for revamping the party's message? It was not, what do you think the message should be? Now, I have some ideas about what I think the message should be, but the fact of the matter is, it's not up to me to come up with the message. So I would suggest using some specific tools. One, I go back to my career in communications. Let's engage people who do this for a living to come in and do focus groups and have a Democratic convention, bring us together, let everybody throw their ideas out and boil it down to what's going to work. I think we should probably come up with 2 or 3 talking points for the state, then each region, and then there's got to be some autonomy. I made some notes to myself that I'm going to look at. I also think we need to talk to other state Democratic parties who have been more successful at this than us. I don't know that that's been done, but I am all about not recreating the wheel. If Virginia's been successful, let's talk to the Virginia State Party and see how they crafted their message. Georgia's doing better than we are. Let's talk to the Georgia Democratic Party and see how they are crafting their message. So back to the question of what my plan is, that's my plan. Let's get some help from other people who've done this before instead of just throwing spaghetti at the wall. As far as getting young people engaged in social media, there are a couple of things I would say about that, and it gets back to the rural-urban divide as well. I'm 54, and a lot of people my age just aren't that engaged on social media. We're still on Facebook. I know younger people have moved on to Instagram. So we do need to tend to small-town newspapers in rural areas because people my age read those. Having said that, we had some candidates this cycle who had amazing social media. Not just Chris, but there was a fellow named Justin Canoe who ran in Congressional District 7, and he's got a background as a film writer, and his digital and social media was great, but we just aren't doing that. So you know what? Maybe we ought to hire some people with that as their background. Maybe we ought to hire some people under 30 and put them to work doing what my age doesn't know how to do.